What's up, y'all? This your girl Flo Essencee at the second Acting in the Industry seminar held at Trinity University. I'm so excited. There are so many important people in the building and so much gems to be dropped. Please stay tuned. We're here for the second time. This is Acting in the Industry. What's up, y'all? This your girl Flo Essencee with Rhett Butler, the moderator of the Acting in the Industry 2. Yes. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. This has been a great day thus far.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what else we have going on today.
Yes, I'm so excited because Rhett is just like, he's the infamous moderator. Like, he knows how to get it done, keep you entertained, yes, and keep the show going. And that's what you need, right?
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
So amongst being a moderator, you have so many different accolades that you hold. So talk a little bit about that. You're a promoter. Go ahead.
Former fight promoter in both boxing and mixed martial arts, mainly MMA. I lived in Las Vegas for a few years. From Harlem, New York originally. Came to Howard because of, came to DC because of Howard University.
Okay.
But after that, I feel like DC incubates talent across all industries and spectrums. And then DC honed me to go to the next level, which was Vegas, LA, other places around the world, and do other things. So I'm a writer, I'm a journalist, I'm a former fight promoter. I mean, I do it all.
Wow.
Communication.
Which one of them do you love the most, though?
Honestly, what I love the most is mentoring people, which can be a thankless job. Doesn't have many financial gains, but I've helped so many people extricate themselves from a real job.
Yes.
I've helped so many people get to the next level, especially in the filmmaking business,
yes,
that I just enjoy being a motivator.
Yeah.
So whatever titles and modalities you want to put me in to motivate, I'll do it. But for me, it's very clear. I'm an inspirational individual that helps people get to the next level.
That's awesome. What's your why? What keeps you moving? Like, when you don't feel like doing anything else and you're tired, but you still get up, what is your why?
The pursuit of excellence. I know that everyone has excellence within.
Yeah.
Sometimes we settle for mediocrity because we don't have an example of what excellence looks like.
Right.
I like to associate with people that are excellent, show excellence continuously, and help people understand that there is a new normal, and it's to do the extra step, to do things that are going to make you stand out above the fray, which is exactly what these panelists talked about today for these actors.
Right. So you're from New York.
Yes, ma'am.
You come to DC.
I did.
And there's a different vibe from
very different vibe,
right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to acting, do you think that why can't more people get noticed, or DC's not that place where you're like, oh yeah, you go there if you want to be an actor? What are we missing from that?
Well, I just think, vicariously through time, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, California and New York have been the traditional hubs. Of course, Atlanta has now come into the midst as another third hub or third coast in the filmmaking business, but I do believe that DC's right behind.
Yes.
I also believe that DC hasn't claimed the power that's brought to the filmmaking business intentionally.
Yes.
Like we'll talk about individuals that have left the market. Some live here, some have left fully and have gone to entertainment business.
Yes.
But we never talk about those that either stayed or that are doing it here and employing people from here.
Right.
So I think at the end of the day, it's about perspective.
Yeah.
I think that DC has its own thing. We can't conform to other people's thing.
Right.
And I think somebody said something really amazing. I think it was Nick Rose's, where he said he's looking for talent in markets like DC because it's not competing with the other agents in LA.
Right.
So understand where your real power is. Your power is in the fact that you're the rarity out of the fray in the bigger market.
Right.
I always tell people this is the best place to get incubated because DC actually cares about you. You go to New York, you go to LA, you are nobody, and you get lucky to meet a Nick Rose's. You come to DC, you'll definitely meet a young lady like her, myself, and a Jelani James. So at the end of the day, this is the place to start, grow, and then forthcoming, go out into the world and make it happen even larger.
Here at Acting in the Industry 2 with the lovely Lydia Butler. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
It's been an honor to watch you speak and all the gems that you've been dropping. Talk about your journey a little bit and how much you've impacted like certain people in this industry.
Well, it's so weird because my journey, it started when I was super young. I was like just a young girl from Philadelphia, just wanting to get out of the city. and I was able to be mentored by two African-American casting directors, Jackie Brown Carmen, or she's no longer Carmen, Jackie Brown and Kim Harden. And they took me under their wing and allowed me to learn and grow with them. You know, they saw something in me when I was young, before I even saw it in myself. So I always, you know, pay homage to them because those are the shoulders that I stand on. They gave me an opportunity, and so now, and it's super important for me to give that, you know, give back to young girls who, you know, are looking to get into the industry, because at the time I didn't know that casting was something that you could do. I didn't know that there was an actual job. It's not like I went to school for drama or casting or anything like that. It just sort of, it was by happenstance. And now, you know, now I'm here and I'm super grateful for those who gave me the opportunity.
Yeah, so things like acting in the industry seminar, why do you believe these are so important to do for the next generation?
Well, because a lot of people don't know, you know, and especially coming into a smaller region like this, where, you know, film and television isn't really a big, because I don't really know, and forgive my ignorance, but I don't know that there's a lot of film and television being shot in the DC area, you know, so I think it's important to come to this market to expose people to this, because otherwise, you know, how do you get it? Maybe in Baltimore, maybe in, you know what I mean? I'm not really sure, but where your closest film market is. But yeah, you know, I think it's important to bring that here.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about it. I think we had The Wire, and other than The Wire and like Scandal.
And isn't there another one? There's another is it Homeland?
Homeland?
Is that film?
I'm not even 100% sure.
Yeah, but you know, it's important.
Yeah, definitely. So now that you've been in the industry for so long, what would you tell your old self that you didn't know that you know now?
I would tell my old self to explore other parts of production, not just get stuck into casting, because although I love casting, it's not something that you know, I still have aspirations to do other things. Like I'm producing now. My husband and I have a production company. I don't know if he explained it to you. 1195.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and we're developing you know, projects for not just reality, but for film and for television as well. So I would have probably explored that a little bit earlier on in my career as opposed to now. But yeah, definitely.
And then my last question for you is, what is your why? You know, it gets hard at times getting up, doing what you do. Although you love it, sometimes you just may not feel like it. So what is that one thing that just keeps you moving every single day?
I gotta tell you, it's God. You know, everything I do, before I do anything, I pray about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very connected spiritually to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because I have to. You have to stay grounded. I get up, honestly, you know, because, you know, you want your family and to be, as a parent, and I'm going to go off topic here, as a parent, you know, we have 5 children. Again, I don't know if my husband...
Oh, wow, no.
Yeah, we have 5 kids.
Oh, my
the
goodness.
oldest being 34, the youngest being 24.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you know, we have a huge family. We're always thinking about the future.
Yeah.
And outside of wanting the kids to have something and our grandkids to have something, a legacy to look back on, it's, you know, it's really just about staying spiritually connected, doing it for our family, and making good content.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm here with Henry Black Butler at Acting in the Industry 2. How you feeling?
2. I'm doing fine. How you doing, Flo?
I'm doing wonderful. Pleasure meeting you.
I like this little jersey. I never seen that. I was checking it out. And the 19.
Yeah, you see?
Is that for Peyton Manning or is that just?
Honestly,
you don't know?
I don't really know.
Let me let you do the interview. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love the energy. That's what we're here for. As you can see, I'm up and bubbly as well, so I love it. So you were just on an amazing panel dropping big gems.
Thank you.
And you've been in the industry for so long. You're a producer.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What do you think is the most prominent thing you learned along your journey thus far?
Well, patience. I started off in the music business. And I transitioned to TV and film. I started off working at record companies and doing events and marketing, and it's all part of producing. All a producer is somebody that is a coordinator, someone that has patience and the skills to deal with others and people's skills and have common sense.
Right.
So over the years, like transitioning from working with rappers and producing albums, executive albums, and producing events, when you get in TV and film, it's a lot easier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are you from DC?
I'm not from DC. I'm from LA, born and raised, West Side for life. Yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you're in DC and we see that we're hosting something like acting in the industry, how important do you think that is to DC or even LA?
I think it's important that we came out here to see what you guys have to offer.
Right.
But in the same sense, I think it's important that you guys continue to do things like this and to, you know, urge people that's in the industry to come out here and be a part of what you guys got going on. You know, for years, BET was here in DC.
Right.
So, you know, everybody and their mama had to come out here to be on BET. If you was black,
right,
you've been to DC
right,
in the 90s and, you know, early 2000s because BET was here. Right. And you had to come here if you wanted to be a part of any of the shows that was on BET, you know?
So what do you think like helped, or what do you think shifted that culture to where DC is no longer looked upon as that place where like you gotta be here, where it's more so LA? And what do you think we can do to bring that vibe back to the city?
Well, basically the whole BT thing happened that, you know, Bob Johnson had a great idea when he started Black Entertainment Television, because DC was always known as the Chocolate City.
Right,
and with this being a chocolate city, it was nowhere else better to start BET than here, and he did a great job. Fortunately, but unfortunately, when you start something that great and to grow, you gotta go around where the growth is. So he took that whole production, he took it to LA and he sold to Viacom and, you know, and it kind of outgrew, and that's what happens with this industry. Things come about and then they kind of like outgrow where it can grow in that area, that space. But what I do think is that, you know, it's a lot of things that shot here. I believe like Scandal shot here, you know, it's a lot of things that has to do with the government just shot here, you know, a lot of government-based shows because this is where it is. So, you know, you need those aesthetics to, you know, to be around.
Right.
What I would suggest, especially people of color, is maybe come up with some shows that are based around here, and you know, and pitch those shows and force them to come back here, you know, and hire. I mean, look at The Wire.
Yeah, that's
The Wire
true.
was, you
Very
know, in the
successful.
DMV, you know, this is a part of DMV.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
it ain't just the D, the DMV. And, you know, Baltimore, you know, The Wire did great in coming up with that and they had to shoot that. So, so, you know, as artists and as entertainment business people, producers like yourself or hosts, create that, you know, create it where people have to come here and spend that money and where you're able to pour from your talent here.
Right, love it. I'm here with Darius McCurry. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
I'm feeling like the gang's all here.
Listen,
and
the gang is all here. It's an honor to stand here and speak with you. I've been watching you since I was, of course, like 9 years old.
Wow.
You know, Eddie on Family Matters. Even though you've done so much more since then, that's, of course, my first introduction to you. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Well, thank you.
Now, coming here to a seminar like this, why do you feel it's so important for us to have things like acting in the industry?
Well, coming to a seminar like this is really important because we have to remember that we all start somewhere, and you never know who you'll inspire. And part of our jobs as entertainers, as directors, casting directors, as agents, and people in the industry, and just people, period, in general. It doesn't just, it's not just relegated to the entertainment industry. We are in a business of service, and we have to learn to serve each other more. And if we can serve each other, then we can create community of individuals and like-minded thinkers who can turn around and do the same for those coming behind them. You have to learn to open the door so someone else can walk through it. And there's a lot of knowledge and information that Google may give you, but there are certain stories and certain things that can be said in a room that may inspire someone in a different way than it would if they were just reading it or they just looked at it. You know, so it's these are jewels that we're dropping, and we're happy to do it because it's all about tomorrow. It's all about the future.
Right. So talk about your transition from being a young actor to an adult actor. We see a lot of people who start out in Disney or start out in different areas, and when they're getting older, we want to keep them where they're at. We don't want to see them as an adult or as this new person that they've grown into. Talk about that transition, that journey, how easy or hard it was for you.
Well, my transition has been an interesting one because I come from a musical family. I was raised to be a musician. Everyone was looking, in my family, was looking for me to bear the torch of the McCreary brand. And so it was never an intention for me to be an actor. But talent is transferable, I believe, and so this was the path that was chosen for me to walk. However, in addition to that, you know, great entertainers of the past were required to be able to dance, to be able to sing, to be able to act, to do it all. You couldn't just be an actor. Otherwise, we would have never had Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra. We never had Josephine Baker. We would have never had Eartha Kitt. We would have never had Nat King Cole. You know, all these greats, they did it all. They played instruments. You couldn't be considered a musician if you did not know how to play an instrument. You know, so my transition was an interesting one. I found my way to acting, or acting actually found me, because I was hanging out with my father on one of his music gigs. And so my family definitely has played a very important part in guiding me, but also representation is a big part of it as well. My reps, my agents and management, along with myself, have consciously looked out for roles where I would be able to display my talents in other areas. And a lot of times people like to hold people in a position that makes them comfortable. So you may have an artist like a great legend who is doing something completely different, but because you like to hear this song, you kind of tune out to what they may be doing now. So, you know, it's just a matter of being consistent and finding those opportunities and avenues that will actually allow for your public, your supporters to take you seriously in something that they might not actually expect to see or hear from you.
Okay, cool. So what is your why? I know sometimes getting up every day or doing what you do, you might feel like, you know what, I'm tired, I don't feel like it right now, but there's something inside of you that keeps you moving, keeps you in this industry, whether it's love, whether it's this. What is that one thing that keeps you going?
Oh, I think the thing that keeps me going in this industry is I'm a very competitive person, and I enjoy competing with no one other than myself. I know that there's so much more for me to do, no matter how much I have accomplished. You know, it's a different time when I had seen some of my former years of success, and I believe that the latter years of success would be greater if I continue to apply myself and continue to keep good people around me and my team, who I love so much, who supports me, you know, just unequivocally. I couldn't do it without the people who are you don't see, people who are in the background, you know, and so I think that that's what drives me. Just having great people who continue to inspire me to inspire others, because I don't wake up every morning and say, oh, I want to inspire somebody. I mean, some days, I can't tell you how many nights I've broken down, but you know, when the morning rolls around, I pulled myself back together some type of way to continue along my journey, and we never know how our journey will affect someone else's journey.
Absolutely.
And so I think that y'all hear that? They're having a good time. If you didn't show up today, you missed it. And I think that it's all about the journey, because the destination is already charted.
Yes.
So that's what inspires me, is arriving to that destination, because I haven't arrived yet.
I'm here with Nick Roses. How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I love him so much because he is so blunt,
Look
so
at
real.
Love.
You like me.
We already at love. I like that.
We already did. Look, I
ain't
always
even been on our first date
listen,
yet.
I don't waste too much time, okay?
You know, I like
feel
to
the
get it right
vibe.
from the beginning,
There you
you
go.
know?
There you go.
Good.
So you are a talent agent and you work
That's what they
with
tell me.
so many people.
Yeah.
And what I love about you is you kind of bring out the people who are like undiscovered, people who are talented that might not be in the forefront. What makes that your niche when it comes to bringing talent out?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's equal sides to the business, right? So there is there's a part of my company that is very, you know, my well-established actors, writers, singers, directors, you know, all of that.
Right.
And then there is my talent that we're kind of developing, you know, and I think that is the fun part of my job. I mean, I love obviously expanding and growing people's businesses and careers, if you will.
Right.
But what is really, really rewarding is to be able to find that diamond in the rough.
Yes.
That, you know, that person that didn't have the opportunity, or like I said earlier, you know, that kid from the project that, you know, you're able to really change their life.
Right.
I mean, you know, going from having nothing to making, you know, $20,000 a week is
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal,
Yeah.
and it's life changing. And so, you know, I have to say that, like, I really feel that God gave me, you know, the ability to do what it is that I do and to really work through people.
Yeah.
And to be able to touch people's lives and be able to get them to realize their greatest self.
Yeah.
You know, and that is, I think, what is so great about being able to break new people. I don't want to be just the guy that gets offers.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be as much as I love that, you know, and a lot of my clients are offer only, or, you know, I'll read 20 scripts and we'll pick 5 of them. You know, but finding that one, it's just, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah. So you talked about Tami Roman, and I love her. Actually,
my
just
girl. I
interviewed
love her to death.
at a TV1 event.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, she did the Felicia Blakely
Yep.
story. So talk about her, because in particular, she started out with reality TV.
Yeah.
And at most, I mean, a lot
But
of
a lot
times
of
it's
people
hard.
don't know, like, you know, she is a beast of an actress.
I
mean,
know,
yeah, like,
but the fact that she was able to transition, and most people
transitioning.
aren't able to,
Yeah.
what do you think is her, I mean, what do you think has helped her to be able to transition to this world, I guess, so to say?
You know, I mean, I think that she really has done both the entire length of her career. I just think that there have been some very prominent unscripted projects that have made her, you know, like where you remember her maybe from that. But I think that people are going to be incredibly surprised because she is here with a vengeance and she is taking over.
I feel it.
She is booking incredible jobs and creating awesome opportunities for herself. You know, she created her bonnet lady for Bonnet Chronicles.
Right.
And that obviously has kind of grown legs, and, you know, she's worked with, you know, her creative team to turn that into something bigger. And as we talk about platforms and stuff, you know, she created that lane for herself.
Yeah.
Bonnet Chronicles on Tidal.
Hello.
But, you know, and then you have her new show that was just announced with Octavia Spencer and Ron Cephas Jones. You know, and just these huge actors. So I think what is so awesome about Tami is everything that she does, whether it be Basketball Wives or the Felicia Blakely story or anything, extant with Halle Berry. I mean, I could sit here and her resume is a mile long. What's so awesome is people are gonna watch her and be like, holy, you know, I didn't know she could do that. I didn't know that was her, because you just watch her on screen and it's just so, like, real.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow, and I don't think every actor really possesses that, and that is, quite honestly, what I think we're missing today is the truth of an actor.
That's what was going to be my next question, actually. What is it that they're missing? What is the disconnect? Because obviously, acting in the industry, this seminar is to bridge that gap.
Right.
And I'm like, so what is the gap that's stopping people from going to that next level?
You know, honestly, for me, it's always drive. You know, I started doing this when I was 13 years old. I'm 29 now. I've been doing this 16 years as a representative. I started when I was a baby as an actor. And so for me, starting as a manager at 13, I had to tell myself anything was possible. Nobody took a risk
you know, for me, in the sense of, I mean, you know, I owe a lot of my career to my mom because she took risks, but I'm saying, like, I had to be willing to ask the questions. I had to be willing to put in the work. I had to be willing to have the perseverance and the drive to pick up the phone and call these casting directors at 15 when I couldn't even go to a bar to like be like, hey, let's go to drinks, you know? Like, people would say that to me and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have a Sprite, you know? Like, but that's the truth. Like, you kind of gotta fake it till you make it and you gotta figure it out. And nobody was gonna tell me no. Yeah. And actors, it's the same thing. Like, you have to want it. Yeah. If you don't want it, then I can't want it more than you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't want it more than you. Absolutely. And you know, for the actors that I represent, whether they're established or not yet, every single one of my actors wants it. And every single one of my actors will do whatever it takes to fight for a role, because that is the value and the core of what I've taught them. Wow. What I have taught my actors is nobody's handing this to you. I don't care if you've won an Emmy or been nominated for an Oscar. Like, I don't care. Like, nobody's doing this for you. You have to want it at every level. Because when you're 60 and you don't want it and you only want offers and you only want this and you only want that, you know, when the work dries up, not everybody is as lucky as Denzel Washington and is as brilliant as that, you know? Like, so you have control of your own situation. Right. And we're here to help guide the process, but not go through the process for you.
That was a major gem, and I feel like what you just said could really relate to people, entrepreneurs, artists, like anyone who really
applies to every business. I could literally, you know, there are days where I've been like, okay, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, what else am I gonna do? And then I realize that I'm insane and I have to do this. This is all I know how to do. But like, I bet you if I used the same principles in my business setup right now, in car sales, I'd be successful.
I agree.
Or health insurance, or you know, whatever it is, because I wouldn't stop until I achieve success. Because for me, I don't want to be on the bottom ever. Right. Well, let me. But I definitely don't want to be in the bottom. You know, like I don't. Well, that was even worse now. So let's just keep the next question moving.
So the next question is,
we're gonna just
already.
We're gonna cut that. We're gonna not use that.
We won't. We'll cut that.
We're gonna cut that out because that will be on the Shade Room tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. So we're gonna cut that out. And Angela, please do not post that.
So this actually does lead me to my next question, and my last question, which is, what is your why? Like you were saying, there's some days where you're just like, I want to give up, I want to quit, but you don't. And what is the reason why you keep going?
My clients. I'll go to the end of the earth for my clients.
That's beautiful.
Because if I'm going into business with somebody, that means that I'm invested. And if I'm invested, you got me to the end of time. I have a client, Christopher Meyer. He's on The Affair on Showtime. He's a brilliant actor. He's been my client for 12 years. He's 21 now. I found him in a middle school play. Like,
really?
Yeah, in Florida. Like, one of my managers in Florida brought him to this open call I had, and he's brilliant. And he is one of the like, just no different than Tami or Candy or Tiny or you know, or Rotimi. Like, I work hard because my clients drive me to, because that's what makes me tick. You know, and actors, like auditions, that should make them tick. Like, that's their food. Like, for me, clients booking jobs, that is the food that feeds my soul. And not a lot of people do that. Like, people are like, oh, I do this because I'm for money or this or that. I have money. I have good clients. Like, for me, I have to want to be excited to wake up in the morning and give someone something that I've worked very hard to have, introduce you to relationships like Leah and, you know, and Black and all these different people. Like, that for me going on a whim for someone and being like, hey, you should read this person, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because all I have is my name.
Yep. What's up, y'all? This your girl, Flo Essencee, and we are here at the second Acting in the Industry. We were together the first one.
Absolutely.
And here we are again. I'm so excited. You know, Ignite Coach Ron gets it together as always. How are you feeling?
I'm well. I'm so excited to be doing it the second time.
I know!
Because the first seminar was so awesome and phenomenal that we had to double up and do it a second time.
Had to.
Absolutely.
So since we've both been in this together and we've both been there from the beginning, like how much of an improvement or change have you seen since the first one compared to this one?
Excellent question. Well, when people have an opportunity to come out a second time to an amazing event, they feel empowered. Obviously, they've gotten a lot of information that ignited their spirit and got them fired up, and got them thinking, motivated, and extremely enthusiastic about living their dreams and going after, taking that big leap of faith forward and doing what they envisioned when they were a child. So that's why I love to take part in events like this, because it helps individuals give birth to what they really aspire to do.
And you told us about that. What you asked us to, you know, rub our tongues and ask what's in there. And I get really so excited talking to you, because I'm so passionate when it comes to inspiring, when it comes to mentoring, when it comes to putting that foot forward, and you do that. And I love that so much. Talk about your, I'm not gonna say your why, but your musts.
Absolutely.
Because I remember. Talk about your must a little bit. Tell everyone what yours is exactly and why it's so important.
Well, it's an excellent question, because I know we often say why we do things.
Right.
Why we want to do it, why we didn't do it. Well, when you have a why, you have options.
Absolutely.
But when there's a must, there's no alternatives.
You gotta do it.
No options, no giving up, no quitting.
Yes.
It's a must.
Yes.
It's like when your mother, the moment she was pregnant and she was in the process of giving birth to you, the doctors didn't say why you want to push, why you want to breathe. You must push. You must breathe. You must focus. You must give me all that you have.
Yes.
And look what your mom produced. All through the must.
Wow.
Because she made it happen.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And that's the power of must.
Yeah, that's so powerful, so powerful. Why do you think it's so important for us to have seminars like Acting in the Industry, especially to have amazing people like you, Darius, and come in the building and really pay it forward? Why is it so important to do that?
Because people learn a little bit about strategies and tips. What's possible. You hear from people who've been around, who've made mistakes, who heard no 1,000 times and heard yes only 12 times. People who've been through the ups and downs, potholes and obstacles, but didn't give up. And they can really let you know that this journey is a marathon. It's truly a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we all know endurance is a powerful tool. So when we can endure, overcome, and get through the ups and downs, the potholes and obstacles, and we can live to talk about it, that's success as we see it today. That's really truly success, when you can tell your story.
Yes, I love that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the vibe that I get from it, you're living your life with no regrets. Am I correct?
Well, you know what? I don't know what regret is. It's not in my vocabulary.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Perfect.
But one thing I can tell you is in my vocabulary is story. People, we all have a story. Some people don't like their story. The reason why I'm not successful, the reason why I'm poor, the reason why I'm not winning. But the reason why you're not winning, or you're impoverished, or things are just not going well for you, whatever, is because you have the ability to mold and shape and carve your story. Every story is developed to be molded, to be shaped. And every story, there's a new story behind that story. So what's your story? Because whatever we believe about we want our stories to be, we have an opportunity to live, to mold, to shape, to create our own story. If you don't like your life, because your life is your story, then guess what? Be the author of change. Change your story. Write a new narrative. When you write your own narrative, your own story, we know how the outcome will likely become.
Exactly.
No story.
Love that. So
Since you're living your life this way, and if you can think back to when you first started, you first decided you wanted to be an Ignite coach, I'm sure there were things that you may have did wrong, or just some areas of change that you could probably think of. So now here we are. When you look back, what could you have told your old self that you know now that you could have done then that you didn't do?
Well, I would have told myself, make it okay to fail. Because through failure, you're giving experience.
Right.
And with experience, it's fuels success. So without failure, you can't get the experience we need.
You need failure.
Failure is part of your fortune. It's what makes you rich. So make it okay to fail.
Yes.
It's like water. It's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think we're so afraid to fail?
Because we're taught that to be fearful.
Yeah.
When you see babies learning how to crawl, they learn how to walk. They crawl, they learn how to walk because there's no fear involved. Imagine if a 9-month-old baby was filled with fear, that he or she would never learn to walk. So when we take the fear out of the equation, it's only focus and faith, and they do it naturally, and they learn how to walk. And so the moment we take out of the equation, subtract the fear element, that's when we become fabulous. We become fearful. That's when we can touch, mold, and shape, and see and digest our future. And that's why it's important to do away with the fear.
So talk a little bit about, you have something exciting going on. Talk a little bit about your, I don't want to spit, I want you to just talk about it.
We are excited to, 2019, we're going to be doing a 10-city tour across America called Ignite Her.
Wow.
So women's empowerment, national and international tour, focused just on women to help ignite the fire within and drive the human spirit. Our approach, our theme is no barriers, only breakthroughs. And so we don't want to tolerate women, we want to celebrate women. All across America and the world, focusing just on women. You want to win, you want to mold and shape your community, you invest. You empower women.
Yes. Ignite Coach Ron, guys. I mean, I'm just Flo Essencee. This is the man right here. We are signing out.
No, thank you.